you know, when my colleague Elvis Kosgei was talking to Mark Bor, you know, businessman, who was the former Kano chairperson in Uasin Gishu County, he talked about a leader who was more, you know, Maki Bor, sorry. He talked about a leader who was very keen in terms of decision making. He took his time before making any decision. You know, he was telling Elvis how Moi, he kept on pressurizing the president, you know, you need a deputy vice president, you need a deputy vice president. And, you know, Moi operated without a deputy vice president for 14 years. And even when Kenyatta died, when Moi took over, he was supposed to reshuffle the cabinet. But he told the people who are pressurizing him, let's wait first and see what the Mwananchi will make, the decision they'll make after the ballot. Then I will make that cabinet reshuffle.
Yes, absolutely. Moi, I think, before he made, he's a president who took his work very seriously, and before he made any decision, he wanted to be double sure, to double check and to be sure. And I remember, you know, for several times, you know, he stayed without a vice president, and eventually he was able to make a decision. But because I think the position of vice president was very sensitive, so Moi wanted to make sure that the person who sits on that seat is someone who is able to, you know, who's someone who shares his values and his vision you know, for the country. As you remember, Brenda, for more than 10 years, Moi served as the vice president to President Kenyatta. And he did his job very well. He was loyal to President Kenyatta, serving the president, and the president trusted him for that period of time. So here he was. You pressured him to you know, choose a vice president, but he had to take his time, you know, to be able to vet these people and see who was best able to, you know, to sit in that office. Yeah. So I think that is one value. A president who took his work seriously, very seriously. Someone who wakes up early in the morning to make phone calls to the provincial administration, to his cabinet. I'm told that he would even know, you know, in the morning, he would know what is happening in the rural areas. You know, he would even sometimes talk to his people. Even the common man, whom you hardly imagine that Moi would talk to, he was someone who was talking to the common people in the village. You had Mr. Kibord say how they were close, how, you know, they would joke around with Moi, how would even give him advice. So he was a president, people feared him, people respected him, but he was able to reduce himself to the level where he can even eat mahindi with people in the streets.
Yeah, and I just need to make a correction. Actually, it's not Mark Bor, but it's Jackson Kibor, who was talking to my colleague Elvis Kosgei in Eldoret. And, you know, during his leadership, there was that respect for the office of the president.
Absolutely.
And the presidency, the president as a person and the office of the president. And that is not what we're seeing right now, because right now you can see people hurling insults at the president. People don't, you know, respect the presidency.
Yes, absolutely. During the time of Moi, you know, people respected the presidency, and it is because of the stature that he gave that position. You know, we held him in awe. I remember when I was young, when he came to Kuala, you know, my village. That time we were students and we were, you know, lining up the street and, you know, struggling to see him. And the moment he appeared, you know, on top of that classic Mercedes-Benz of his, we were so excited. You can feel your hair rising, and you say, "Oh my God, I saw Moi! Oh my God!" You know, and it was one of those things that the charisma that he had, you know, because as you know, the president is the father of the nation. He's the head of state. You are supposed to hold the imagination of the people. The president should be able to inspire the people to dream. You know, so Moi was able, you know, to inspire the people using his philosophy, the philosophy, Nyaya philosophy of peace, love and unity, asking guys to work hard. I remember even in school, he came up with this 4K club, you know, Kungana, Kujenga, Kusaidia Kenya, to teach Kenyans, you know, the values of hard work. You know that for you to be able to succeed in life, you have to work hard. I remember also, you know, we had the Young Farmers Club in school, teaching about the values of agriculture. And you can see, Brenda, during those days, agriculture was Kenya's, you know, biggest export earner, you know, export earner. And it's as a result of what Moi personally put his energy to. Remember those days, he talked about Momonyoko Udongo, where he would personally be there to help fight the corrosion of, of soil. And that is what we remember Moi with, someone who put his energy, someone who, whenever he said something, he actually put all his energy, and people respected the presidency. But unfortunately nowadays, people, insult the president, they abuse the president on social media, and you can see right now, even within the government, even pulling apart. The president is saying, let's go BBI way. Others saying, we don't want BBI. So what kind of a nation is this that cannot follow, the values, of its leader? And I think it's a lesson that we learned from Moi. Moi taught us that we have to respect the nation, the presidency, the institution is different from the person.
All right, thank you so much, Daniel Juma, the Executive Director at the Global Peace Foundation, talking to us about, the legacy of the president. Now, we've had